And finally, let's talk about accountability courts. If you're scrolling down this page looking for information about how to deal with your first ever offense. Accountability courts, I think, is all encompassing, referring to drug courts, DUI courts, these are the big ones. Mental health courts are big. Veterans courts have rather recently started taking hold, and I fully support veterans courts. Family treatment courts, it's really what it is again a blanket term or an umbrella term for any number of programs designed to rehabilitate. So without getting into the specifics of each of these courts, because we could talk about that all day, what I would say is this: the courts are generally somewhere between 12 months and up to 24 months in duration, right? And the judge for that accountability court is going to set, the judge, the treatment team, even the prosecutor's office, they all come together and they basically have a core group of people that set the goals and the requirements for the program. Accountability courts, as it relates to this particular article I've written, and this information, I guess, is important to understand what they could do for you on the back end of your case or how they would impact your case. That's going to be dependent, and that's something you want to know going into the program. And that's something that, as your attorney, I would negotiate on your behalf. So, for instance, some drug courts have the power to literally dismiss your case if you finish their program. That's not a first offender plea. It doesn't dock against you. It's not pretrial diversion. It is just a dismissal of your case with certain terms and conditions to complete the court. DUI courts specifically, and maybe this is a big asterisk, but under Georgia law, DUI courts, on the other hand, don't have the power to dismiss your case. You would enter a plea of guilty before the court starts and then work your way through the program trying to successfully complete it. And the big, if you want to say the big motivator there is less incarceration or less jail time for DUI courts, because primarily they're addressing at least second offenders, third offenders, all the way up. They'll take people with as many DUIs as they've had, but a minimum typically of 2 DUIs. But again, most of these programs have some leeway, have some room to negotiate with the prosecutor about what happens to your case if you successfully complete it. Again, they're all going to involve some mix of treatment, some mix of testing, some mix of court dates. And every judge I've spoken to that runs these courts really does. They care about their participants. They care about the outcome and seeing their participants succeed. And that goes for the staff as well of these programs. So depending on your situation, it's an option to explore. So if you have questions about accountability courts and how they could affect your case, or whether you should consider doing an accountability or would even be referred into one or accepted into one, give me a call today and let's discuss the specifics about where your case is pending, what the facts of your case are, and let's talk about you and where you stand in all this. You can either reach me directly on the number on this site, or certainly you could fill out a contact form on our site, and I'm happy to give you that one-on-one consultation.